All right, everybody, it's about 3:15 p.m. on Monday, January 26th. I don't normally do the breaking news thing, but we have some breaking good news out of Minnesota. Customs and Border Patrol head Greg Bovino is being ordered to leave Minnesota immediately, according to officials within the Trump administration. Recall that overnight, Donald Trump sidelined Kristi Noem in the response to the murder of Alex Pretti on Saturday morning in Minneapolis. For the rest of the day, Saturday, and all day yesterday, Sunday, Kristi Noem and Greg Bovino had been the point people in repeating the administration's bald-faced lies about the murder of Alex Pretti, both of them holding press conferences and repeating the statement that an individual approached ICE agents armed with a 9mm, strongly implying that Alex Pretti had his gun in his hand and was pointing his gun at ICE agents when he approached them. The video showed that literally not one piece of that information was truthful. The backlash has been incredibly fierce and strong and harsh, including from many Republicans. Just insane. But reading from an article that was just published in the Wall Street Journal, Border Patrol Commander Greg Bovino will imminently leave Minnesota along with some of his agents, according to administration officials familiar with the matter. I wonder if they're going to be removing the agents who were directly involved in the murder of Alex Pretti in order to keep them from being interviewed by Minneapolis police detectives. Greg Bovino had emerged as the public face of the Trump administration's immigration enforcement activity in Minnesota, accompanying agents on many operations, where we all got to see just how incredibly short he is. Following the fatal shooting over the weekend of Alex Pretti by a Border Patrol agent, Trump has signaled a willingness to wind down some of the administration's operations there. It's a fucked up thing when Donald Trump is the voice of reason in his own administration as compared to Kristi Noem, Greg Bovino, and even Stephen Miller. Stephen Miller, who tweeted on Saturday, a would-be assassin tried to murder federal law enforcement, and the official Democrat Twitter account sides with the terrorists. The official Democrat Twitter account responded to Stephen Miller in the following manner: "You're a fucking liar with blood on your hands." Jesus, man. On Monday, the president said that Tom Homan, his border czar, is that a real title? What is Tom Homan's actual title? Would travel to Minnesota. White House Press Secretary Carolyn Leavitt said earlier Monday that Homan would be the main point of contact on the ground and that Bovino would be leaving. When Donald Trump tweeted that Tom Homan would be going to the state of Minnesota to take over for Kristi Noem, he tweeted that Tom Homan would be reporting directly to President Trump. So he is cutting out. He is cutting out Kristi Noem and Greg Bovino. Greg Bovino is, Kristi Noem has no moral compass whatsoever. She has proven herself to surpass even Caroline Leavitt when it comes to lying. She shot a puppy in the face and thought it would be a good idea for her to include that little anecdote in a book that she wrote about herself. Read the room, Kristi. People like dogs. Greg Bovino, on the other hand, you can see in his face when he's out on the street throwing tear gas at people, the sadistic pleasure that he experiences when he gets to attack and order his agents to attack and kill other American citizens. I gotta tell you, I can't fucking wait for Greg Bovino's trial. I can't fucking wait for that, because Remember that Donald Trump is transactional, and Greg Bovino and Kristi Noem have made Donald Trump look bad. They made him look bad. They're making him have to backtrack. They're making him have to come just up to the line of having to admit that he made a mistake. And Donald Trump doesn't like that. So do you think he's actually going to give them pardons for Kristi Noem and Greg Bovino? Kristi Noem sidelined Tom Homan because Tom Homan wanted to focus on undocumented immigrants in Minneapolis. Kristi Noem and her alleged boyfriend, Corey Lewandowski, elevated Greg Bovino and turned him loose in the streets because Greg Bovino was going after protesters and American citizens, and Kristi Noem and her alleged boyfriend, Corey Lewandowski, liked those images better. So that's where their efforts were focused, in going after, confronting, harassing, beating, and murdering American citizens, American civilians in the streets. And now all of this fucking blew up with the murder of Renee Good, and less than 3 weeks later, the murder of Alex Pretti. And now even Republicans are turning on Donald Trump. And Donald Trump does not like that. Donald Trump doesn't like that. Donald Trump does not like being put on the defensive, especially by his own people. And so Greg Bovino is out of Minnesota. Kristi Noem has been sidelined, along with her alleged boyfriend and uber creeper, Corey Lewandowski, who greatly enjoys being violent with women, according to events that took place during the 2016 presidential campaign when he was Donald Trump's campaign chair, and there was a police report about him physically attacking a female reporter during that period of time. But, you know, I couldn't be happier for this fucking short round little Nazi, Greg Bovino, and Mar-a-Lago face, Kristi Noem. And just in following up on this, let's see, there's another article right here. Waiting for it to load. Donald Trump is not happy, insiders say. President is fuming about DHS's response and handling to the Minnesota shooting. Again, Donald Trump's not upset about the shooting. He's not upset that American citizens are being killed. Donald Trump is upset with how DHS is responding to those shootings. It's just bad messaging, I guess, in Donald Trump's eyes. He could give two fucks that Americans are being murdered in the streets by his federal agents. Fat Nixon doesn't give a shit about that. He cares about how DHS is responding to that. Yeah.